Looks like gamers are going to have a really tough time and are getting left behind again. Until 2024, Nvidia is sold out of their most popular AI GPU. So, what does that matter for gamers? The 4090 is not sold out, right? So everything seems to be in stock. I even took everybody on a little tour of one of my local stores on my previous video. Now, this has much more of a connection than you would think. Yes, the crypto mining boom was, you could say, really damaging to gaming in a way because that made prices go up really high. And of course, gamers just couldn't get hands on GPUs. But that one was different. Like those GPUs were directly used for mining. Now, nobody in AI are really buying that many sort of consumer GPUs. There are cases, of course, where maybe smaller, AI and machine learning data center operations will use regular GPUs like a 4090, but usually it's maybe as like a test bench or just to prove a certain case. But if you really want to get serious with AI, you need these massive data center GPUs that the regular consumer gaming GPUs just can't touch. And now let's hear a word from our sponsor, VIP-CDKdeals.com, a Windows 10 Pro CD key. Add to cart, you put in code CC20. This will also work on Windows 11. You want to go into your settings in Windows, change and adjust your CD key, click activate, and now let's go back to the video. So yes, gaming GPUs are staying on the shelves, but Nvidia has no incentive to lower pricing. If we look at their latest financial report, gaming amounted for a little bit over $2 billion of their overall revenue, but data centers were over $10 billion. This is a record number, and that's why Nvidia stock keeps soaring. Why are they going to care or focus on a much smaller segment of the market when they have to focus all of their energy, all of the chips, the excess, capacity? Of course, they're going to want to make these GPUs. If they're sold out until 2024, they're definitely going to want to focus everything there. Even though a 4090 is not the same as like an H100 or one of the, AI data center type GPUs, you could say very similar silicon or maybe even the resources can be sort of directed towards the much more profitable one. And you can't deny that it seems like data centers are like 5 times more than current gaming GPUs. Of course, gaming is still a pretty big market. It's still a lot of money, but it doesn't really mean that it's anywhere near what the data center is. And I wonder if a lot of these gaming sales, just like they misattributed, crypto mining sales to the gaming sector, I wonder if some of that happens to be people buying it for AI as well. Like we mentioned in these smaller, maybe machine learning applications, 4090s have 24 gigabytes of VRAM. That's still a pretty decent chunk. And while it's not going to be anywhere that it's going to be a huge data center, you can use it in smaller test situations, maybe a smaller startup or something like that. Much easier to get a 4090 than some of these $30,000 plus, AI type of GPUs. So that's why we shouldn't expect pricing of gaming GPUs to really come down. They're focused on making a lot more of these data center products. Even if they really lowered the price of the gaming GPUs, they would sell a lot of them, but they would have sort of a shortage again because then people would be buying them. The price would just go right back up. So it's not really something that makes any sense for Nvidia to do. That puts gamers in a pretty tough spot. If you want to buy a GPU, you got to pay $600 for a 4070. That's one of the best GPUs in terms of maybe price to performance this generation. And that's not even all that great, really. Everything else just gets worse from there. Like a 4080, over $1,000. Definitely not really worth it. That's why they haven't been selling that well. Even though it is a good GPU, don't get me wrong, 16 gigabytes of VRAM, it's plenty fast. It's just the price you're paying for it is obviously something that's really inflated over the price of the previous 3080 at $699. So unfortunately, not much gamers can do at this point. I think the data center GPUs are just going to eat up all of Nvidia's time, and they may even delay a little bit like an RTX 5000 series because they know AMD and Intel are not really going to have that strong of an answer in that type of market. AMD also focuses a lot on data centers, and they've traditionally not done all that well against Nvidia, even though certainly it is impressive, the 7900 XTX, how well they've been able to do, at least sort of challenging like a 4080 level type of experience with a little bit lower price. But that's really hasn't been enough. They've been mostly focused in sort of the lower end of the market where it's much more competitive in terms of price with Nvidia. So for now, I think prices are going to remain high. This AI boom could go on even longer than the crypto mining boom. So we're going to see what happens. I mean, a lot of the attention is going to be directed towards that. So that means our products may have more AI in them, like DLSS 3, 3.5, like they have now, meaning that the hardware NVIDIA could justify to become weaker in the future if the AI software side gets so much better. They're going to say, why do you need a power of a 4090 when we can make like a 4060 behave like a 4090 with like DLSS and those type of technologies? And while it's in its infancy, you could see in the future a little bit of, power in a GPU, like a smaller GPU. If the software side is amazing, you could see that being really, really good. But we're sort of in that transition phase where we still need a beefy GPU in terms of hardware. And any limitation right now is definitely not that great. Like the 4070 Ti with only 12 gigabytes of VRAM, 192-bit memory bus. You can see those type of limitations happening now. And it does affect some people. Like if you want to use that GPU for 4K, it otherwise would be able to do it. But in some VRAM limited situations, it's not a great experience. So until the software is like magic, literally, the hardware, I think, has to keep up. But this AI thing with data centers is certainly going to take a lot of NVIDIA's attention away. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.